Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Peachy and this channel is all about my Sylvanian families collection. For today's video, we're finally going to be setting up the interior of this house here, which is the Red Roof House by the Sparkling Water or Waterside Red Roof House. It came out last year in 2025 for the 40th anniversary and it is the canonical home of the Biscuit Bear family. You can see the mother and the father just here. The father, Lloyd, is an architect and he has designed this house and then had it built. And the mother, Eleanor, she is a landscape gardener and she has designed the gardens for the house. We won't go over the facade and everything in this video. I've done a separate video unboxing and taking a really close look at all the little details on the house. So I'll link that here if you want to have a look at that. But we're going to go straight on to looking at the interior. So turning the building around, you can see this is what we're working with. The downstairs is pretty sizable. The upstairs is slightly smaller, and with all the windows, it was proving a bit of a challenge where to put all the furniture. This video has been requested quite a lot. I know people have been asking for it and when it's going to come out. But honestly, I was having a real problem deciding what furniture to use and how to put it into the house to decorate it in a way I was happy with. And if I'm perfectly honest, I still don't think I'm 100% happy with what I've come up with. But I didn't want to delay the video any further and I can always tweak it as we're going along. Off video, I've been experimenting with a few different kind of layouts and I'm going to show you the one I like best today. There is this furniture set that was marketed to go with the house, so I will be incorporating this. We won't do an unboxing on video, partly because I've already unboxed it and just put everything back in nicely for this shot. But also there's lots of unboxing videos if you want to take a closer look at these up on YouTube. So we won't do a dedicated unboxing, but I am going to use these pieces in the setup. On the bottom floor, there's going to be kind of a kitchen, lounge, diner situation going on. And then up here, bedrooms and a playroom for the children. So let's move in a little bit closer and get started on the ground floor. So coming in closer to the house, I wanted to start with the room that was giving me the most trouble, which is this one here, which is behind this staircase. This wall is movable, so you could also move it just over to here. But I didn't like it there because I liked this being a kind of open plan living, dining, and to have this as a kitchen. But it is just so narrow, and with the staircase in there, you obviously can't really see. So let's get this out of the way first. It's really long and narrow. It's quite dark. I didn't want to block up these doors because they lead out to that veranda. There is also a secret door here, but unfortunately I couldn't find a way to make that work at this point in time, so I think we're just going to treat this as a wall and block it up. So firstly, for this bit up here, I wanted something narrow enough to sit on one of these walls, so I selected this grandfather clock, and I could put it on either side, but I think I'm going to pop it just there, just to add something into that room so it's not completely bare, but also not block up that door. Then this is where I was intending to put this blue kitchen piece, which is from the furniture set that is marketed to go with this house. It's very pretty. I love the blue and the ornate details. I was going to pop it just in there like that and then kind of be done with the space, but I wasn't really gelling with the blue. Like, it's a lovely piece, but I feel like there's other houses that this would look nicer in. So I decided to put this bit aside and instead go for the kitchen set from the Darkwood series. The more I was playing around with this house, the more I felt it kind of has this real Victorian facade and feel, so I wanted to kind of go with darker woods. So this is the dark brown or classic brown series. This is the kitchen set. It also comes with this sink piece, and this is one set. And then there's also a separate set that comes with a dining table with this piece. I'm not going to use the dining table in this house, even though I think that would look lovely as well. And I have got it so we can look at both options. But these I'm going to put in this kitchen space because they're tall, so they fit nicely in the space. But they're also quite narrow, so they'll all fit in. So I'm going for that one over there. These have a kind of Victorian-esque feel, I think, to them. So I think they sit really nicely in this house. This one there, and then you can see it's not ideal. You can't really see what's going on, and it is quite dark, and the dark wood in a dark space maybe isn't the best idea, but you could still get a character kind of in there to take photos. Eleanor can just about fit in there. And then if you put the stairs back in as well, it does fit with that furniture. There's probably room for one other thing in there, but with the stairs it's just blocking it anyway. But that's kind of what I came up with for what is a very awkward space. I've just double checked on this one actually, and it doesn't come in the set with the dining table. It's marketed to go with the dining table, but this is actually a separate set that you can buy by itself, just this piece of furniture. I've got some doll's house like baskets of produce that I currently use with the village store. I might try popping them in this space just to make it a little bit more full, but let's move on to the rest, and if I decide to do that, I'll pop it in at the end. So coming along here, we have this larger space, which was a little bit more easy to decorate. I had so many ideas though, and I couldn't fit everything. So let's go with what fit the best in the end. So this is the telephone table from the dark wood furniture set, or classic brown furniture set. It comes in a set with a television. There was no room for the television, so just the telephone table, but I did find that it just fits very nicely in this little gap over here that's kind of like a bay window. Then I wanted this to be the dining area and this to be the kind of lounge. So you're walking into the nice cozy lounge and then you go through to the dining area. I'd put the table in just by itself, but then this wall looked really bare. So I've gone with this Tomi era Welsh dresser and the china that comes with it, and some Tomi era pots on the top, just for a little bit of decoration. And again, that copper pot and pan and porcelain feels very Victorian and kind of appropriate for the house to me. And I kind of put that in there just like that, just to make this wall a little bit more interesting. Then the floor is absolutely lovely. I love the way it's decorated. However, to break it up, some rugs were needed, I think. So I've gone with this kind of greeny one here because it ties into the green in the doors and the green in the dining room furniture. Here's where we have the table dilemma. So here's the Biscuit Bear furniture table and chairs. This is the little baby chair. Very, very cute. I love the bear head on it. I was putting that separately over there because it just fills out the space a little bit more. And then we have the table and chairs themselves, which are a nice kind of minty sagey green. And then I've put some of the tea time accessories on the table already. And then the other two chairs like so. I really wanted to have a separate desk for Lloyd to do his architecture work, but that just wasn't going to fit in the house. So instead, I've got him a little space on this table. If I was going to go for a desk for him, it was definitely going to be this classic brown writing desk. But as I said, there was unfortunately not enough room for that in my kind of master plan. So that is the kind of green and white option, but there's also the classic brown table, which I'll show you now. So here's the table, and the chairs look like this. So let's pop that one in. I think I'd probably keep the baby chair anyway. And then obviously we'd put the accessories on this table instead. See, I just wonder if that's just a little bit too dark for the space. I like how the green kind of ties in with the rest of the green. But I also really love this table. I think it's really elegant, really hard to decide, but I think we're going to go with the green one for now. But it's always good to have options. Then just coming over to here, this is going to be our lounge area. So first of all, there's this lovely kind of fireplace piece that comes with the furniture set marketed to go with the house. I really like this, and it kind of fits perfectly just here, and then it's almost like it's being piped into the kitchen and then obviously extracted out from the kitchen. Also has these lovely ornate pieces to go with the fire, which sit nicely just there, and also these logs and this little ornate log holder, which is the perfect height to sit under this window. I really didn't want to block up these windows too much. So that kind of nicely fills that little corner space. Also, it's putting heat in where the door is, so keeping it nice and warm in the winter. Then another rug. I thought here, so it kind of ties in with this rug in that they're the same kind of design, but more of a red because we're going to be using some red on the furniture. Then it was this space here and what to do with it. My first thought was this nice sideboard piece. It does block up the window a little bit, but it goes with the theme of the rest of the house. But it is kind of a little bulky, and I wasn't quite sure it was quite perfect. But then I remembered I have this lovely piece with the lamp and the green books, and again the green I thought just really tied in with everything else. So we've got the green of the books with the green of the chairs and the windows and everything. It does block up this window a little bit, but I think I can live with it. And then it also has this green framed picture that I usually keep with it to cover up that switch. But again, another green. So I kind of like that, and thinking you could read a book by the fire. Then for seating, it's another one where I'm a little bit undecided. I know I want to use this dark brown or classic brown sofa and armchair set with the red covering on. There also is a green covering as well, so that was another decision to make, whether the green would look nicer, so we can have a look at that as well. But I was thinking definitely the coffee table, definitely one armchair, but not another because I'm trying to get through. And then it's whether we go with the sofa just to fill out that space a little bit, or potentially the other armchair. The other armchair I've got in the green, so I will just grab that. So here is the green colourway option, and these are just changeable covers for the chairs. So if we take out the sofa, what do we think? Green or red? Armchair or sofa? I like the green, but I wonder if it's just a little bit too dark again, and the red just brings a nice pop of colour into the space with the dark wood on the furniture. I know I said I wanted it to kind of be a dark, broody Victorian kind of house, but I do wonder if it's just maybe a little bit too dark because of the lack of light in the house. I definitely think the sofa works better in this space as well. Just fills that out nicely. The green is definitely really, really pretty, but I think for me, I'm going to go with the red for now. And that kind of completes that downstairs bit. Coming back over here, I did grab some of those Doll's House produce bits and bobs from the village store. So I'm thinking the bread might work nicely in there. And then I've also got some vegetables, so maybe the carrots. Then putting the stairs back in, what I was thinking was having some of them kind of stored almost underneath the stairway as well. So maybe we put the eggs here and then have these like underneath the stairs, just to make it look a little bit less bare over here. And it's also kind of storage as well. I just realised I filmed that whole thing and you can't really see it. So there is what I'm thinking. And then you kind of got it so dark in there with the stairs in. So you kind of got some baskets just there, just to kind of fill it out a bit more. And that's kind of what I'm thinking for the downstairs. So then moving to the upstairs space, this is narrower than the downstairs space, and also it has so many windows and doors. It just was a real challenge as well. I found this floor a lot more difficult than the downstairs floor. But in the end, I kind of decided this would be one very teeny tiny room, and then this would be one larger room. So let's start with the teeny tiny room. I thought children's bedroom because a child-sized bed would probably fit. And I've gone with the bed this way round, and then also enough space for a little children's desk as well. This way round, which kind of still leaves this balcony accessible, but it does feel like a very tight squeeze in the space. This is the Liberty Print Girls bedroom set, so I guess it's a bedroom for Molly, but Theo will have to share it as well because there's not enough room to give him his own room, bless him. So that's kind of what I'm thinking for that teeny tiny little space. And then coming over to the slightly bigger but no less awkward space, I've got this bed, which is a kind of half double bed for the parents. It kind of has to go there because there's not really anywhere else for it to go unless I put it there, and then you can kind of also get through, and a little bedside table to go alongside that to fill in that little space. You can see it's a very tight squeeze to get things in up here. I think that kind of works because you kind of go through there and then into the other bedroom. Then this rug came with the furniture set. I like the colours on it, it's very pretty, and I did want to use it, so I'm going to kind of put that in this space here to try and tie in the next thing, which is this crib that came with the Biscuit Bear triplets. I figured I could kind of put this here in front of the doors, but also not completely blocking the doors. And then this rug makes a nice little play rug for the children as well. Kind of have it like that, lettered with the toys that came with this family. And then that left this teeny tiny little landing space that looks really bare with nothing there. So pot plant, just to kind of fill in that space but make it still passable. And that's kind of all that really fits up here. I mean, you could probably put something here, but I couldn't really find anything suitable, and it has this annoying little step, which means larger furniture kind of falls off. So this is kind of what I've come up with. No room for a bathroom, unfortunately. No room for any other kind of beds, or maybe you could fit a bunk bed in there, but then it would kind of block up the windows over there for the children. So it was just a struggle. The house looks very, very big and spacious, but in reality it's actually quite small. Just taking you off the tripod now to have a closer look and recap of what we've done and where we've put things. I'm fairly happy with how this has turned out. This house is definitely a challenge to decorate. I really have to shout out the Sylvanian world of Applecrumb Whimsy. Her channel is amazing. She does the most incredible setups, and she has done, at the point of filming, a 3-part series on decorating this house. She helped a lot with the kind of blocks I was having in being able to decorate. She's also done some customization like stained glass windows and wallpapering, and it looks like it's going to be a continuing series as she works through this house. Definitely recommend checking that out if you are having trouble decorating this house. I didn't have it in me to even attempt to wallpaper the shape of this house. It is just a nightmare shape with all the windows and the paneling and everything. But I'm pretty happy with what I've come up with at the moment. Hopefully this is helpful for those of you who are asking kind of how to decorate this house and what I was going to do with it. I think before we end, I'll just pop the Biscuit Bear family in so you can see them enjoying their newly furnished home. And that brings me to the end of today's video. I hope you've enjoyed taking a look at how I have chosen to set up this house. Where we had furniture options of like colours and things, let me know in the comments which you preferred, the green or the red or the dark brown or the lighter table. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye bye for now.